What is up, guys? I'm so excited to be back. I'm so sorry for the long hiatus. It's been crazy these past few weeks. And I have little G here with me today. We don't have any assistants today, so I figured I'd start the video with this precious face for y'all. Super excited for today's episode. We are going to be talking about a topic that I think is very relevant with rising temperatures at this point. It is heat stroke. So follow along so y'all can learn more about this. All right, so we want to know what heat stroke is, right? Heat stroke is an elevation in body temperature above normal range.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot.
So our normal range, we're not supposed to go above 100, but a dog's normal range, their normal temperature is 101.5 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius, Fahrenheit. Now, if their temperature goes above 105 degrees Fahrenheit, this is the definition of heat stroke, and you should seek veterinary attention immediately. All right, so we talked about the definition of heat stroke. Let's talk about how we get heat stroke. Anytime that we're taking our dog out for a run, a jog, going to play with them, all those things that elevate their heart rate and their temperature, just like if we were to do that. Another way for them to get heat stroke is leaving them in a hot car. We're going to touch more on that on next week's episode, so if you haven't subscribed, do that now. That way you can keep up and follow for next week's episode. Now, sweating helps us cool down, and we're able to do that all over our body, our arms, our head, our torso, our legs, everywhere that we can think of, and places that we don't even want to think about. With dogs, on the other hand, their whole entire body is covered in fur, so they can't sweat that way. Their only ways to cool down is through their mouth when they're panting, and then through their paw pads. So when you think about it, if you go out for a walk in the middle of the day and say it's 90 degrees outside, that's pretty toasty. Anytime that you're going to walk on the asphalt or on the concrete, that one way that they're able to cool down is now taken up by heat. And not just heat, that asphalt heats up so fast in the middle of the day. I'm going to put a lovely little poster here in a second of the different levels of asphalt heat in different times of the day. That way it'll help you. It'll be right here in this area. Now we've taken away for them to cool down. Their feet are now covered on the asphalt, which is just making them even hotter. So now you can see why they're actually having heat stroke or overheating way faster than you and I would. So let's talk about ways to prevent heat stroke. I know we all still want to be able to take our dogs and on walks, which they need to do. Obviously, they still need their exercise, but we also want to spend as much time as we can with them in the summertime. It's the most wonderful time of the year. So things you can do is try walking them early mornings or late at night when the temperatures aren't that high or they're already cooling down. Try walking them on the grass as well, anything off of the asphalt and the concrete, because if you wouldn't stand on it with your bare feet, then they shouldn't either. All right, so here are symptoms of heat stroke that you can look out for if you're ever worried about it. If you ever are out with your friend and you see their dog and you're concerned they might have heat stroke, look for these symptoms. We have excessive panting, excessive drooling or hypersalivation, however you want to do it. We have warm to touch, and they're warm automatically, but if you touch their belly and they seem extremely hot, then try and cool them down at that point. We also have, if you look inside their mouth when they're panting, or just open their mouth if they're really cool with you, look at their gum lines, their mucous membranes, and see if they're super red. If they're super red, we need to cool it down, get them to slow down a little bit. If they have vomiting, or if they have bleeding from the mouth, even blood in the stool as well, that's another symptom. Especially watery, diarrhea. It's kind of like the body going into a shock mode. And then we also have seizures. That's a big one to look out for. You will notice muscle tremors prior to the seizures, most likely. We do have coma, and then unfortunately we do have death if it comes to that. Something to keep in mind with our furry kiddos is that they don't have an off switch. So when we're playing with them, they might not be able to tell us that they're having trouble keeping their body temperature down, or they feel that they're too hot. Like, they will keep running and playing until they drop. And at that point, it's most likely going to be too late. I hope not, but most likely in that case, it's going to be too late. Now, ways that we can, if you do notice these symptoms, things that you can do to help your dog is stop all activity immediately. Get them into a cool, dry place. So walk them, do not run with them. Walk or carry them to a cool, shaded area. If you have an area or a building that has AC, something with great air circulation. So don't go to your hot car that's been sitting there in the sun, turn on the AC and thinking that's helping them, because right now they don't have enough air circulation going on throughout the entire car, which is still hot inside on its own. You want to start cooling them down with some water. So if there's a hose nearby, if you have water bottles, get those and start pouring it all over them. You want to try and keep it mainly focused around their belly, their paws, keep it around their head. You want to do it all over, but if you're wanting fast results, put it on their belly, because that's what they're going to feel the fastest. If you can, bring a fan, or if you have access to a fan, use the fan as well to help bring that circulation, and it helps just cool them down faster with the water on top. Call your veterinarian immediately. Let them know that you're scared that your dog has possible heat stroke symptoms, and see, a lot of times the veterinarian is going to tell you to come in immediately. If for some reason they're not able to get you in, then look up the closest veterinarian to where you are located. You don't want to bring their temperature down too fast, because this can cause some other problems along the way. The faster you can get them to a veterinarian, the better. You can give them water to drink, but make sure that they're keeping it down, and make sure that they're not drinking it too fast, because when they do that, they'll just vomit it back up, because their body can't handle it coming in that fast, and they get full too fast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you found this video educational and helpful. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, which I know you did, because I bet there's stuff in there you didn't know. And if you want more information on your pets and what to do, and if you're about to adopt a pet, how to go about that, then hit that subscribe button. I promise I will cover as much knowledge as I know, which is a lot. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and send them into the messages, and I will get back to each of you as I can. I hope y'all have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your week. Keep those furry kiddos safe and out of the sun. And I'll see y'all next week for some more pet talk. Bye.